Top 10 Wonders of Africa. Hello explorers, welcome back to another exciting video and thanks for watching. In this video we shall be taking you around the African continent, showing you the outstanding wonders that always keeps people in awe when they get to these places. Africa is a beautiful continent with exciting cities and friendly people, but what really attracts millions of tourists on the continent on a yearly basis are its outstanding wonders. From north to south, west to east, Africa has it all: waterfalls, mountains, breathtaking pristine beaches, and wildlife. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. In this video, we shall look at both the natural wonders as well as man-made wonders. So without any further ado, here are the top 10 wonders of Africa. Number 10. The Great Wildebeest Migration, Serengeti Migration. Starting off, we have the Great Wildebeest Migration. The ever-moving columns of wildebeest follow an age-old route in search of grazing and water that takes them across the plains of the Masai Mara in Kenya, all the way south into Tanzania, through the Serengeti and almost to the Ngorongoro crater. Every year, around 1.5 million wildebeest, 350,000 Thompson's gazelles, 200,000 zebra and thousands of eland and other ungulate hoofed animals participate in what has been called the greatest show on earth, the Great Wildebeest Migration. Around March, at the end of the short dry season, the grassy plains of the southernmost Serengeti begin to dry out and the wildebeest move on, heading towards the western woodlands. The three groups of migrant grazers take advantage of different heights of grass, which means they stick to their own kind with only a small overlap in their distributions. The grasses of the plains have the highest protein content in the whole of the Serengeti, as well as being high in calcium. It is unclear how the wildebeest know which way to go, but it is generally believed that their journey is dictated primarily by their response to the weather. They follow the rains and the growth of new grass. While there is no scientific proof of it, some experts believe that the animals react to lightning and thunderstorms in the distance. It has been suggested that wildebeest can locate rain more than 50 kilometers away. The Serengeti is not only considered a wonder of Africa, it is also a wonder of the world. Number 9. Victoria Falls. Victoria is a waterfall on the Zambezi River in southern Africa, which provides habitats for several unique species of plants and animals. It is located on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe and is considered to be one of the world's largest waterfalls due to its width of 1,708 meters. David Livingstone, the Scottish missionary and explorer, is believed to have been the first European to view Victoria Falls on 16 November 1855 from what is now known as Livingstone's Island, one of two land masses in the middle of the river, immediately upstream from the falls near the Zambian shore. Livingstone named this site in honor of Queen Victoria of Britain. While it is neither the highest nor the widest waterfall in the world, Victoria Falls is classified as the largest based on its combined width of 1,708 meters and height of 108 meters, resulting in the world's largest sheet of falling water. Victoria Falls is roughly twice the height of North America's Niagara Falls and well over twice the width of its Horseshoe Falls. In height and width, Victoria Falls is rivaled only by Argentina and Brazil's Iguazu Falls. The Victoria Falls is one of the most visited sites in Africa. Number 8. The Great Mosque of Djenné. The Great Mosque of Djenné is a large banco or adobe building that is considered by many architects to be one of the greatest achievements of the Sudano-Sahelian architectural style. The mosque is located in the city of Djenné, Mali, on the floodplain of the Bani River. The actual date of construction of the first mosque in Djenné is unknown, but dates as early as 1200 and as late as 1330 have been suggested. The earliest document mentioning the mosque is Abd al-Sadiq's Tariq al-Sudan, which gives the early history, presumably from the oral tradition as it existed in the mid-17th century. The first mosque on the site was built around the 13th century, but the current structure dates from 1907. As well as being the center of community of Djenné, it is one of the most famous landmarks in Africa. Along with the old town of Djenné, it was designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1988. Number 7. Okavango Delta. The Okavango Delta in Botswana is a swampy island delta formed where the Okavango River reaches a tectonic trough in the central part of the Endo-Heric Basin of the Kalahari. All the water reaching the delta is ultimately evaporated and transpired and does not flow into any sea or ocean. Each year, about 11 cubic kilometers of water spreads over the 6,000 to 15,000 square kilometers area. Some floodwaters drain into Lake Ngami. The area was once part of Lake Makadikadi, an ancient lake that had almost dried up by the early Holocene. The delta was named as one of the 7 natural wonders of Africa, which were officially declared on 11 February 2013 in Arusha, Tanzania. On the 22nd of June 2014, the Okavango Delta became the 1,000th site to be officially inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Number 6. Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert, also known as the Greatest Desert, is a desert located on the northern part of the African continent. It is the largest hot desert in the world and the third largest desert overall after Antarctica and Arctic. Its area of 9,200,000 square kilometers is comparable to the area of China or the United States. The name Sahara is derived from a dialectal Arabic word for desert, Sahara. The desert comprises much of North Africa, excluding the fertile region on the Mediterranean sea coast, the Atlas Mountains of the Maghreb, and the Nile Valley in Egypt and Sudan. It stretches from the Red Sea in the east and the Mediterranean in the north to the Atlantic Ocean in the west, where the landscape gradually changes from deserts to coastal plains. To the south, it is bounded by the Sahel, a belt of semi-arid tropical savanna around the Niger River Valley and the Sudan region of sub-Saharan Africa. The Sahara can be divided into several regions, including the Western Sahara, the Central Ahaga Mountains, the Tibesti Mountains, the Ai Mountains, the Tenere Desert, and the Libyan Desert. Number 5. Ngorongoro Crater. The main feature of the Ngorongoro Conservation Authority is the Ngorongoro Crater, the world's largest inactive, intact and unfilled volcanic caldera. The crater, which formed when a large volcano exploded and collapsed on itself 2 to 3 million years ago, is 610 meters deep and its floors cover 260 square kilometers. Estimates of the height of the original volcano range from 4,500 to 5,800 meters high. The crater floor is 1,800 meters above sea level. The crater was voted by 7 Natural Wonders as one of the 7 Natural Wonders of Africa in Arusha, Tanzania in February 2013. The Ngorongoro volcano was active from about 2 million years ago. The volcanic eruptions like that of Ngorongoro, which resulted in the formation of Ngorongoro crater in Tanzania, were very common. Similar collapses occurred in the case of Omoti and Enkpakai, but were much smaller in magnitude and impact. Number 4. The Great Stone Kingdom. Legend has it that this was a playground for the giants, and for visitors gazing over this steep hill in southern Zimbabwe, it's easy to understand why. Spread around in every direction, great jumbled blocks of granite rise from the ground to create spectacular rock formations. They are fantastical shapes fashioned by centuries of wind and rain, of heat and cold, stacked upon one another. Such boulders are scattered haphazardly across the southern African country. Zimbabwe is indeed home to one of Africa's most breathtaking landscapes. Located some 30 kilometers from the modern Zimbabwean town of Masvingo, the stone ruins of Great Zimbabwe are today one of the continent's most impressive monuments, linking the present with the past. A UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, the archaeological remains contain the largest ancient structure in sub-Saharan Africa. Number 3. River Nile. River, as the Brazilian government says that the Amazon River is longer than the Nile. The Nile is about 6,650 kilometers long and its drainage basin covers 11 countries: Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kenya, Ethiopia, Eritrea, South Sudan, Republic of the Sudan, and Egypt. In particular, the Nile is the primary water source of Egypt and Sudan. The Nile has 2 major tributaries, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The White Nile is considered to be the headwaters and primary stream of the Nile itself. The Blue Nile, however, is the source of most of the water, containing 80% of the water and silt. The White Nile is longer and rises in the Great Lakes region of Central Africa, with the most distant source still undetermined but located in either Rwanda or Burundi. It flows north through Tanzania, Lake Victoria, Uganda and South Sudan. The Blue Nile begins at Lake Tana in Ethiopia and flows into Sudan from the southeast. The two rivers meet just north of the Sudanese capital of Khartoum. Number 2. Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro is a dormant volcano in Tanzania. It has 3 volcanic cones: Kibo, Mawenzi, and Shira. It is the highest mountain in Africa and the highest single freestanding mountain in the world, 5,895 meters above sea level and about 4,900 meters above its plateau base. Kilimanjaro is the 4th most topographically prominent peak on Earth. The first people known to have reached the summit were Hans Meyer and Ludwig Purtscheller in 1889. It is part of Kilimanjaro National Park and is a major climbing destination. Because of its shrinking glaciers and disappearing ice fields, it has been the subject of many scientific studies. Mount Kilimanjaro is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Tanzania. Number 1. Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the oldest and largest of 3 pyramids in the Giza Pyramid Complex, bordering present-day Giza in Greater Cairo, Egypt. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and the only one to remain largely intact. Based on a mark in an interior chamber naming the work gang and a reference to the 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Khufu, Egyptologists believe that the pyramid was built as a tomb over a 10 to 20-year period concluding around 2560 BC. Initially standing at 146.5 meters, the Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for more than 3,800 years until Lincoln Cathedral was finished in 1311 AD. It is estimated that the pyramid weighs approximately 6 million tons and consists of 2.3 million blocks of limestone and granite, some weighing as much as 80 tons. Originally, the Great Pyramid was covered by limestone casing stones that formed a smooth outer surface. What is seen today is the underlying core structure. There you have it, explorers. Those were the top 10 wonders of the African world. Feel free to add more wonders of Africa that were not included or mentioned in this video. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, do want to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.